Welcome to War Bias. I'm General Biography. Today, we're going to explore one of the most pivotal battles in American history, the Battle of Kings Mountain, fought on October 7, 1780. This clash of arms was a crucial turning point in the Revolutionary War, and its impact would be felt for centuries to come. To understand the significance of this battle, we need to delve into its origins. The seeds of conflict were sown in the early summer of 1780, when British forces under the command of General Charles Cornwallis launched a campaign to conquer the southern colonies. Cornwallis's strategy was to divide and conquer, using his army to drive a wedge between the Patriot strongholds in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. In June 1780, Cornwallis appointed Major Patrick Ferguson, a Scottish-born officer, to lead a contingent of Loyalist militia in the Carolinas. Ferguson's mission was to recruit and train Loyalist forces, with the ultimate goal of crushing the Patriots and securing British control over the region. Ferguson was a skilled and charismatic leader, but he faced significant challenges in his task. The Patriot movement was strong in the Carolinas, and many colonists were determined to resist British rule. As Ferguson began to organize his Loyalist forces, he established a base of operations in the town of Camden, South Carolina. From there, he launched a series of raids and skirmishes against Patriot strongholds, seeking to intimidate and disrupt their supply lines. However, the Patriots were not easily cowed. Led by men like Isaac Shelby, James Williams, and John Sevier, they began to organize their own militia forces, determined to resist Ferguson's efforts and protect their homes and communities. In late August 1780, Ferguson issued a proclamation calling on all loyal subjects of the crown to join him in his campaign against the Patriots. This move was calculated to divide the colonists and create tensions between Loyalists and Patriots. However, it had the opposite effect. Many colonists who had previously been neutral or undecided were outraged by Ferguson's proclamation, and they began to rally to the Patriot cause. As the summer wore on, tensions between Loyalists and Patriots continued to escalate. Skirmishes broke out across the region, with both sides suffering casualties. Ferguson, aware that his force was still relatively small, requested reinforcements from Cornwallis, but the British commander was hesitant to divert troops from his main army. Undeterred, Ferguson pressed on, using his limited resources to maximum effect. In late September 1780, Ferguson's forces occupied a strategic location on Kings Mountain, a rugged ridge that dominated the surrounding countryside. The mountain offered a commanding view of the approaches and was easily defendable, making it an ideal spot for Ferguson to establish a base of operations. However, the Patriots were not about to let him have it without a fight. Over the next several days, the Patriot army, numbering around 1,000 men, assembled at various rendezvous points, preparing for the long and arduous journey to Kings Mountain. The force was a diverse one, comprising militiamen from Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina, as well as a contingent of frontier riflemen from present-day Tennessee. These men were hardened by years of living on the edge of the wilderness, skilled in the arts of warfare, and determined to drive Ferguson's Loyalists out of their territory. As we've seen, the stage was set for a clash of arms that would have far-reaching consequences for the outcome of the war. The Patriots, driven by a desire to protect their homes and communities, were determined to defeat Ferguson's Loyalist army and shatter British hopes of conquering the South. The Loyalists, on the other hand, were fighting to maintain their allegiance to the crown and preserve their way of life. And so, with the armies gathering and the terrain set, we find ourselves on the cusp of a pivotal moment in American history. The outcome of this battle would send shock waves throughout the colonies, influencing the course of the war and shaping the fate of a nation. The battle began as the Patriot Army, led by men like Isaac Shelby, James Williams, and John Sevier, advanced up the mountain, using the cover of trees and rocks to conceal their approach. Ferguson's Loyalists, numbering around 1,100 men, were arrayed along the ridge with their backs to the summit. The Loyalists were largely inexperienced militiamen, but they had the advantage of high ground and a defensive position. As the Patriots climbed higher, they came under fire from the Loyalist lines. The Patriot riflemen, skilled in the arts of marksmanship, returned fire with deadly accuracy, picking off Loyalist soldiers and slowly gaining ground. The battle was fierce and intense, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. Ferguson, aware that his force was outnumbered and outgunned, attempted to rally his men, but they began to waver under the relentless Patriot pressure. One of the key factors that contributed to the Patriot victory was their use of clever tactics. The Patriots divided their force into several detachments, each of which attacked the Loyalist lines from a different angle. This created confusion and chaos among the Loyalists, who were unable to respond effectively to the multiple threats. Meanwhile, the Patriot riflemen continued to pour in a withering fire, cutting down Loyalist soldiers and slowly but surely gaining control of the ridge. As the battle raged on, Ferguson became increasingly desperate. He realized that his position was untenable and that his men were on the verge of collapse. In a last-ditch effort to rally his troops, he rode along the lines, exhorting them to stand firm and fight on. However, it was too late. The Patriots had already gained the upper hand, and the Loyalists were beginning to flee in panic. In the end, it was Ferguson himself who fell, shot from his horse by a Patriot marksman. His death marked the effective end of the battle, as the remaining Loyalist soldiers threw down their arms and surrendered. The Patriots had won a crushing victory, killing or capturing over 1,000 Loyalist soldiers and shattering British hopes of conquering the South. The aftermath of the battle was chaotic and brutal. Many Loyalist prisoners were executed or mistreated by the Patriot victors, who saw them as traitors and enemies of the American cause. However, the Patriots also took care to bury their own dead and tend to their wounded, aware that they had won a great victory, but at a terrible cost. As news of the battle spread throughout the colonies, it sent shockwaves of excitement and hope through the Patriot ranks. The victory at Kings Mountain marked a turning point in the war, as it showed that the Patriots could defeat a large and well-trained British force in a pitched battle. It also marked a significant shift in momentum, as the British began to lose control of the southern colonies, and the Patriots gained the initiative. In the months and years following the battle, the British struggled to regain control of the southern colonies. The loss at Kings Mountain had weakened their grip on the region, and the Patriots were able to capitalize on this momentum. The battle also marked a significant shift in the balance of power between the British and American forces, as the Patriots gained confidence and experience in their ability to defeat the British in conventional battles. One of the key consequences of the Battle of Kings Mountain was the impact it had on the morale of the British Army. The loss of Major Patrick Ferguson, a respected and experienced officer, was a significant blow to British morale. Additionally, the defeat at Kings Mountain marked one of the first major losses for the British in the Southern Campaign, and has set a precedent for future battles in the region. The battle also had significant implications for the Loyalist population in the colonies. Many Loyalists who had supported the British cause were forced to flee or go into hiding, as the Patriots began to assert their control over the region. The Battle of Kings Mountain marked a turning point in the treatment of Loyalists by the Patriots, as many were now seen as enemies of the American cause. In the years following the battle, the site of the Battle of Kings Mountain became a symbol of American patriotism and a reminder of the sacrifices made during the Revolutionary War. In 1787, a monument was erected on the battlefield to commemorate the battle and honor the memory of the Patriots who fought there. Today, the site is operated by the National Park Service as the Kings Mountain National Military Park, and it remains a popular destination for historians and enthusiasts alike. As we reflect on the Battle of Kings Mountain, it is clear that this pivotal moment in American history had far-reaching consequences for the outcome of the Revolutionary War. The battle marked a significant turning point in the conflict, demonstrating the strength and determination of the Patriot forces and setting the stage for future victories at Cowpens and Yorktown. As Thomas Jefferson would later write, the Battle of Kings Mountain was a decisive blow to the British Army in the South, and it marked the beginning of the end of their attempts to conquer the colonies. The battle remains an important reminder of the sacrifices made by American patriots during the Revolutionary War and continues to inspire pride and patriotism to this day. In conclusion, the Battle of Kings Mountain was a pivotal moment in American history, marking a significant turning point in the Revolutionary War. The bravery and determination of the Patriot forces, combined with clever tactics and a strong sense of purpose, ultimately led to their victory over the British. As we remember the sacrifices made by these patriots, we honor their legacy and continue to draw inspiration from their example. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.